I'm Emma from English. In this little video today, I'll be sharing some incredibly common English words that you may be mispronouncing. Now, these are definitely words that you already know. You use them all the time when you speak English, when you read, when you listen. They're really familiar words, but you may not be pronouncing them correctly. So we're going to practice how they sound together today. Let's go. To be honest, sometimes I feel like the English language is a little unfair to you. Some aspects of pronunciation are just really hard, aren't they? We've got silent letters and letters that are pronounced in more than one way. Vowels in particular. I mean, there's only 5 vowel letters, but there are 20 vowel sounds. I mean, I'm just thankful you're still here watching my lessons. Just kidding. Of course you should be here. And of course, we're going to be able to improve your pronunciation together. That's what we're doing here right now. Like I said, all the words that I'm sharing today are extremely common. They're everyday words that I say multiple times each day. So it's worth spending a little bit of time tweaking and perfecting your pronunciation to get them right. So you might feel quite confident talking about people in English, right? Is that you? These nouns are some of the first ones that you learn when you're learning any language, right? But the pronunciation of the singular and plural forms in English is a little confusing. And it's quite common for my English students to make mistakes with them, especially if they never quite learnt the correct pronunciation, and so over time, they've just continued pronouncing it incorrectly. So I want to go through a few of them with you. Child and children. Now, both words start with that ch sound, but when you look at the phonemic script, what's different about the sound that's following that ch after that ch sound? It's the vowel sound. It's different, right? It's a different vowel sound. So that's why using the phonemic script is so important for your pronunciation, because you can see the sound and see that it's different. I mean, hear it, right? Child, chai, child, and children. Chill, children. So when you're using these two words, it's really important that you hear that difference. It's not childs and it's not children, it's child and children. So here's a couple of sentences to practice with, out loud, okay? My neighbors have 7 children. When I was a child, we lived by the sea. Great stuff. All right, surely you knew this one was coming, right? Woman, women. Now, it's really easy to get the singular woman mixed up with the plural women because of that O. You can see in the phonemic script that that first syllable is the stressed one. You can see it because that little mark over there is always there to show you which syllable is stressed. It comes before the stressed syllable. The second syllable is unstressed. So what often happens in unstressed syllables in English is the vowel sound reduces to a schwa, and that's that sound, a really lazy sound. So it's like, great, when the letter is the same, it sounds different. When the letter is different, it sounds the same. Let's focus on the singular form first, woman. So start with the w sound. Make sure that your lips are rounded and that your teeth are not touching your lips. W, w. Then we have the as in book sound. W. Now this is the stronger syllable, right? It's stressed. We need to hear it really clearly. It's the unstressed syllable that follows in mun. So that's the schwa sound. It's really soft and it's low in pitch. Mun. Almost not there. You don't hear man. That second syllable is reduced. Mun. Woman. Woman. All right, now what about that plural form? The plural form, again, is that w sound, then I, as in hit, wi. Okay, so again, that's the strong syllable. You need to hear it. Make sure you've got air in your lungs to push it out. Wi. Then the unstressed syllable follows, right? So we reduce it down. Men. Women. So let's compare the two of them. One woman, woman, 4 women, women. I asked the woman if she'd seen 3 women arrive in a red car. I asked the woman if she'd seen 3 women arrive in a red car. So these are really subtle differences, but they're important ones if you're trying to improve your pronunciation and your accent, when you want to sound more natural and relaxed as you speak. Let's keep going. So again, we've got some really simple, really common words here, right? But they are so often mispronounced by English learners that we need to focus on them for a few minutes. And again, it's that vowel sound that we really need to pay attention to. Even though we have the same vowel letter, the sound that you use to pronounce these words is different. Listen. Can, can't. Let's start with can. Can. Ah. Open your mouth up wide for that one. I can do that. I can do that. So when I said that sentence, I'm really stressing the word can for emphasis. So this is really useful if someone is suggesting that you can't, but you want to try and contradict them. You want to tell them the opposite. I can do it. I can. The interesting thing about this word is that it actually has 2 forms, a stressed form and an unstressed form. So the unstressed form is kun, using that schwa sound again. Kun. I can do that. I can do that. Now compare the 2 together, all right? I can do that. I can do that. Can. I can do that. So there's quite a difference there when we're stressing that word for emphasis. I can do it compared to the unstressed form. I can do that. I can do that. Now, there are a lot of grammatical words in English that have a stressed and an unstressed form. So these unstressed forms are a really important part of natural English pronunciation. It's that schwa sound. It's so important in unstressed syllables and unstressed words. So if you want to keep practicing with the differences between those stressed and unstressed forms, check out that lesson up there. I go into it in great detail. Now, you know that the negative form of can is cannot, right? And it's often contracted in spoken English. So instead of saying cannot, you'll hear can't. And that's a very different vowel sound to what we were practicing earlier, right? Can't. In my accent, it sounds like the word car, but with a nt on the end. Okay? Can't. Now, there's some subtle differences between my accent and an American accent there, because you'll hear it a little differently in some American accents. More like can't. But in my accent, it's can't. So it's that longer vowel sound, and very different to the short ah. Can, can't. Sorry, you can't use the lift today, but you can use the stairs at the end of the hall. So let's just try that same sentence again, but with the unstressed form of can. You can't use the lift today, but you can use the stairs at the end of the hall. Another super common word that I often hear my students mispronouncing is Wednesday. 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 Now, again, you would have learnt this word way back at the start of your English learning journey, right? But I still hear my students saying Wednesday. So it doesn't have 3 syllables, it only has 2. Wednesday. Wednesday. And that first D is completely silent. Wednesday. Wednesday. I'm working late on Wednesday night. They're open for dinner from Wednesday to Sunday. So the last pair of words that I want to share with you are often mispronounced, and I'm talking about advise and advice. So one of these words is a verb, the other is a noun. Listen. Advise, advice. Can you hear the difference in the pronunciation? Advise, advice. It's that final consonant sound, the S unvoiced sound and the Z voiced sound, okay? Now, this sentence right here is not grammatically correct. We're using the noun form of this word incorrectly as a verb, and you can hear it when I say it as well. He advised me. He advised me. One of the most common mistakes that I keep hearing my students making again and again is using a plural form of advice. He gave me some advices. Now, that's incorrect, right? You'll never hear a native speaker using advices because it's an uncountable noun. When you use it, you need to use a determiner or a quantifier to explain how much of it you gave or you received, right? He gave me some advice. She shared 3 pieces of advice. My boss advised me that now was not the time to apply for a new job. He advised me. Awesome! Nice work! Even though these words are really simple, they're ones that get used all the time. So it's important that you take the time every now and again to check yourself, right? It's really easy to slip back into bad habits with your pronunciation, especially if you haven't practiced speaking English in a little while. If I was you and any of these words in this lesson are a little challenging for you and you need to get your tongue around them, I would go back, write down all of the examples that we went through and keep them somewhere where you can practice them out loud each day. Well done for sticking with me all the way through to the end of that lesson. If you want to keep practicing your pronunciation with me right now, then here are a couple of other lessons that you can dive into straight away. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel if you haven't already, just down there. I make new lessons every week. So I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.